Before you quit your job, do this, what you should know. In this video, I want to share some helpful guides and tips of what you should actually be ready to implement if you're considering quitting your day job or 9-to-5 job to pursue a side hustle or get involved with maybe creating your own online business or so forth aside from the day-to-day grind. So make sure to keep watching until the end of the video, and I'm going to be sharing with you from some of my own personal experiences of what I've had to implement over the years of having to deal with jobs that I didn't like, and to also make you aware of some of the outlooks that you should actually be aware of if you are considering wanting to actually leave your job, and what processes you should put in place before you actually start implementing certain strategies and so forth, so that you can take things to the next level and move forward. So if you are actually currently considering looking to quit your job and you are actually fed up with the day-to-day grind, having to get up and working for someone else, it's tough. I know we've all been there. I've been there myself, and even until recently I've still had to kind of go through that, and it's not a nice feeling. It's okay if you actually like the job that you're actually in, but a lot of us don't really like the jobs that we're actually in, unfortunately, and it seems to be a part of life to a point where when we grow up from a young age, we're kind of nurtured to actually just go out and just get a job and just work for somebody else and just earn a wage. And like, there's nothing wrong with that, because it does give you a footing and a foundation of what it's like to actually take on a bit of responsibility and to actually earn a little bit of money. But you will get to a point in your life where you will start questioning things and you will start wanting to change things. Most of us always want to be able to change our lives for the better and to implement certain things, but most of us are too afraid to take that leap and to take that risk. So I put together this video to try and teach you and even guide you on some of the processes that I myself personally have also had to take, that will also hopefully show you some steps that you can understand if you are currently in the same position. So primarily, if you are looking to get out of your job, the first thing I would say is to not quit your job right away, because regardless of the job that you're in, even if it is a high paying job or even a low paying job, even though you may not actually enjoy it, the truth is that you do actually need to actually have some sort of a plan set in place. Because if you quit your job right now, you will have no money coming in. Even if your wages are quite low and you may not enjoy the job, at least you still have that little bit of security there to actually allow yourself to actually have a bit of a wage and to actually have a little bit of money coming in. But if you just walk away from the job outright with no backup plan, then you're going to find it tough, because unless you have, like, say, another job lined up, it's going to be very, very tough for you to really actually start moving forward, and you're going to actually go backwards rather than go forwards. So ideally, what you can do is try and stay with it for a little while longer and try and save up enough money, so that obviously you need to pay your bills and you need to feed yourself and so forth, but save up enough money so that you can start investing in yourself. Because ideally, if you want to, say, create a business or you want to create a side hustle, you need to have certain things in place, and money is definitely one of those key things, because money starting out isn't a thing that comes easily to most of us when we're only starting out trying to take control of our own lives, because we're so used to working for somebody else, and having to be in control of our time and taking on that responsibility is a new thing for us, and we are afraid of it because it's totally out of our comfort zone. A job does provide security, but again, it's not ideal, because if you really want to see success, you have to be willing to actually try. But in saying that, if your current job is actually getting too much, like I say, if you're getting hassled, if you're being bullied, or it's just you're finding that it's just grinding and it's just draining you of all your energy, what you need to do is, until you can get enough aside to invest in yourself, maybe start looking for alternative employment, or maybe take on like a part-time job, something that can actually still allow you to earn a little bit of money so that you can pay your bills and so forth, but also give you time to, and allow you to be flexible to do the things that you actually want to get started in. Give yourself that option. That's the thing. Always give yourself an option. Always have like an escape plan. Always have something kind of in the works or in the back of your mind, so that at least if something doesn't work out, you have something else to actually fall back on. Also also be practical and think of reasons why you want to quit and start something for yourself. It's okay to say, oh, I'll just quit my job, but you have to understand the reasons why. And like I previously mentioned, like if you're not enjoying your job, or it's just completely it's starting to just eat away at your sanity, and you like say you're getting bullied, or you're not getting enough money, you're not actually being compensated for the amount of work that you actually put in, you could be underpaid. There's many different reasons, but you do need to take a step back and allow yourself to actually be practical and mature and actually think of the reasons. Why should you quit this job? Why should you venture into doing something else? You know you want to do something else, but you need to give yourself valid reasons in which to actually put all these processes in place. So whenever you do decide that you want to leave your job, obviously you have to hand in your notice. But again, what you want to do is as well, you don't want to burn any bridges with your employers, because again, you never know where things could go in the future, whether that person could still open a door for you maybe further down the line, maybe in for another job if you do have to go back to work for a while, or even if you do need to go back to your old job, at least that door could potentially be open for you. But if you burn your bridges, that's it, gone, and that can actually harm you more so in the future than actually go in your favour. So it's just something to think about. But if you do have an idea and you're adamant of setting a date or a time of when you want to actually quit your job, you need to be very firm in your decision, because what will actually happen, and it does happen, and it's happened to me, you know in your head you want to go because you're just not happy in your job or your environment. But what will happen is your employer or your boss or your supervisor will actually try to talk to you and try to get you to rethink your ideas. And what happens is sometimes you can be guilt tripped into thinking whether or not you've made the right decision. And what can actually happen is, and it has happened to me before, where you've ended up staying up in jobs longer than you actually initially wanted to, and you become even more miserable, so that by the time when you do quit, you're just completely deflated, and it's very, very hard to pick yourself up. It completely just knocks all your confidence. So if you do set a date and a time of when you want to leave the job, you do need to be firm in your decision. And if someone comes to you, or a manager tries to change your mind or tries to entice you to stay, you just have to be firm with them. At the same time, don't be a nuisance and don't get yourself in trouble, but just in a professional manner, be firm with them and just say, no, I'm leaving at this time. And you can say that I'm starting a new job, or I want to go and venture into something else, and just stick to your guns pretty much, because at the end of the day, this is a decision that you've decided to make, and this is your choice. Because if you say no to something, you're actually saying yes to something else, and you want to be firm in that decision, because your choices define who you are, and those choices could be the definition of your future, and you want to really consider that. So I know that we all have commitments, but we do need to make time. So if you do decide that you want to quit your job, or even if you still have a job but you want to start something else, like a side hustle or something like that, I know we've all got commitments. Like you could have family, you could have sick parents, you could have children, you could have paying bills like mortgages and so forth, you could have other commitments, but you still need to be willing to make a little bit of time in order to actually do the things that you want to do. Like say if you're wanting to start an online business, or again do a side hustle, if you only have like say an hour per day, or you only have like say 3 or 4 hours per week to that free time to actually do that work, you need to get the most out of that time that you actually have. That's the only way that you're really going to see success. What you should also do as well to help you develop your plan even further is to create what's called a risk assessment, because again, quitting your job isn't an easy task. It takes a lot of courage to be able to pluck up enough confidence in yourself, and to build up that confidence to be able to go into your boss and say, I'm quitting and I want to go. It's not an easy thing. A lot of people don't want to do it because they're so afraid of what could happen or what might not happen, and pretty much the fear of the unknown. But give yourself a bit of time to actually think of different possibilities of what could actually work for you, and potential problems, or even try to find solutions. So again, try to identify current problems that you actually have. So write down problems that you actually have on like a piece of paper or so forth. But what you should also do is as well, for every problem, try to write down a list of ideas to possible solutions that could also help you, and even this will help you to help overcome any doubts that you may have. And on top of that, with those solutions, ask yourself what steps could you possibly take to maybe fix a problem, or if there's a way around a certain issue that you have. Maybe you could ask for less time at work. Instead of actually quitting your full-time job, maybe you could ask for reduced hours and still be able to work for the company, but at a pay decrease, but it still will give you that more flexibility and more time to do the things you actually want to do. There is ways of working around it, but again, you would need to find solutions to do that. Also, what you should look at is as well is if you are spending too much time doing things that are actually draining your time, you actually have to ask yourself, what areas in my life am I willing to sacrifice? What is serving me and what is draining entertaining or taken away from me. If you're spending too much time watching movies, drinking with your friends, even playing like video games, which I'll be honest, myself I will admit I was a villain for, and I still was for a long time, because I grew up with video games. Video games is a very big part of my life personally, and I still love playing video games. I always will, but I'll admit I got to a point where I was like, when I was looking to change my job, or when I was looking to start my own online business like with my YouTube channel, I realised that sitting playing video games all day, as much fun as it is, you're not really gaining anything from it, because you're not growing as an individual. If anything, what's actually happening is you're leveling up, but you're only leveling up in the game itself, but you're not leveling up in real life. You're not growing as an individual, you're not growing as a person. So you do actually have to ask yourself, is this actually serving me? And even like say with playing video games, if you don't want to completely give it up, what you do is you need to retract from it and maybe actually lessen the amount of hours that you sit playing video games or out drinking or even watching movies. Actually look at what's consuming the most of your time and what can you eliminate or slow down on to be able to give yourself more time to do the things that you want to do. Also, if you do decide to quit your job, you need to think of what are the alternatives. Do you have another job in place? Will you be able to bring money in? Could you be able to maybe create like a side hustle? Could you work for somebody else doing a few like freelance jobs? Always think of the alternatives, and obviously like have solutions to problems and create a plan as well, a plan of action that you can implement if something goes wrong. So again, like write down every risk, angle and solution down on paper, because once you write it down, it solidifies all those ideas, and you can always come back to it and you can tick it off, or you can change it as you go along. If you've solved something, you can tick it off and move forward. If you haven't, or you maybe presented with another problem, maybe you can change or alter a few things around. But as long as you have it on paper, you can always go back to it and reflect on it and see, and you can see clearly where you were to where you are right now, and then you can just move forward from that. So currently, right, you're thinking of ideas of what you want to do apart from your day job when you're considering looking to maybe get out of it, and you're thinking of ideas, like you're trying to put plans and procedures in place. So thinking of ideas is always a good thing, but there is things that you should be aware of. What you should even look into is as well is what are you learning currently in your normal job or your day-to-day job that could actually be useful to you moving forward. I know myself, when I worked in different jobs, like I've actually worked in quite a number of jobs in loads of different kind of like niches. I worked in like with computers, I worked in IT, I've done graphic design, I've done web design, I even have done like video game design. So I have a load of different skills, even to a point that I went on to do something completely different, where up until about a year ago, as of recording this video, I was actually working as a personal trainer. But that was something I wanted to venture into myself, because that was also another area I wanted to explore. You will want to try different things in your life. There will be things that'll pique your interest, and there will come certain points where you will want to kind of develop, because you want to grow as an individual. You want to explore more things. You want to explore more about yourself, what you're capable of, what you like, what you dislike, and the only way to really figure that out is to go and do it. So that's what I did. But along the way of doing all these particular jobs, I actually learned a ton of different skills and unique skills that have actually helped me, because even by actually doing like the IT stuff and the computer stuff, I never have to worry about being able to like write a description or learn how to get affiliate links or learn how to design my own thumbnails or even do web page design. I can do all that. I don't have to worry about hiring someone to do it, because I can do a bulk of the work myself, and if I can't figure it out, I know myself where to go to actually source out the information that I need to actually figure it out for myself and actually go and get it done. And the same even comes with the likes of personal training. The one great thing personal training taught me was how to be more presentable and professional to deal with people in a face-to-face manner, because I myself personally, and this is a personal thing, I wouldn't have been the most confident person before I started this YouTube channel. Like if you go back over my earlier videos on my channel, you'll see that I was nervous. You'll know by the sound of my voice, but that only developed as more experience came along, the more I did it. But actually by doing the personal training and being more involved with people and dealing with them in one-to-one and even with group training, it actually helped me to develop my own confidence, and I learned a lot more about myself and what I was capable of, and I realised as time went on that I was more than capable of being able to do these things, and I couldn't see that before I done all these things. So take it on board. What are you currently learning in your current job that you can use to actually help you move forward with your future endeavours? Like for me, like for this example, everything that I've learned up to this point has greatly helped me with my YouTube channel, because had I not learned all those skills, I would probably never would have been able to implement them in the way that I have when it comes to my videos. Because now I can actually create a video and I don't even think about it. I can literally just get to work and actually just create and do whatever I need. The longest bit for me is actually doing the research and of the topics and then editing the videos. But everything else, I can just turn the camera on and I can just talk, and I have no problem with it, and I don't even think about it anymore, which is fantastic. But that only comes from actually doing it every day and actually just keep rinsing and repeating. So definitely use your current job to your advantage, because you can guarantee there are skills that you currently have and abilities that you have within that job that will actually help you go moving forward into whatever future endeavours you want to partake in. Write down even a list of the current ideas that you're thinking of. I'm sure you've loads of ideas. We've all got ideas as people, because we always want to expand our knowledge, we always want to grow. But if you do find something that you really want to get involved with, something that really resonates with you, take a bit of time and actually do plenty of research on those ideas. Try to figure things out, try to figure out more about that idea and see if it's something that you can add your own kind of spin onto, or even if you can move forward with it. Also see if it actually reflects your passions and even who you are as an individual. Is this something you'd like to be involved with? Is this something that I think that I can actually move forward with it? Also ask yourself if you can use that to actually gain the experience that you want and actually to allow you to also pursue your goals with, so that you can grow. Because once you've got those ideas, the next thing to do is to create goals and actually to work towards them, because by doing that you will inevitably grow and you'll expand your knowledge. So if you take those points into action and actually think about it, it's not as hard as you think. As long as you have a proven process and you even set out a process for yourself that you can follow step by step, you won't go wrong. It actually will help you, and you can just go back on those steps whenever you need to reflect on anything. And if you get stuck on anything, you can always go back, figure out a solution to a problem and then move forward from it. So if you're wanting to get involved, like say with your side hustle, or you're wanting to create your online business, again, even if you are still in a 9-to-5 job, or you're working part-time, or even if you have quit your job, what you should do is, once you've thought of your ideas, start to narrow down your ideas. Like if you have like say 100 ideas, narrow it down to 10 ideas. Then what you do is narrow it even down even further to say 2 or 3 ideas into certain areas or niches or topics that you know you can really get more involved in, something that you know that you have ability and knowledge in, which goes back to what I mentioned of the skills that you have in your current job. Is there something that I'm doing in my current job that I know can actually help people outside of my job? That could be something that you could look into. Like if you're doing engineering, or if you're doing a car restoration, if you're doing bookkeeping and accounting, health and fitness, whatever knowledge you have that you know could help people, you could put your own spin on it and use it in your own way to be able to present and help people. So this also in turn, like say, you can use this for your business or for your side hustle. You can work in your spare time. But again, with those ideas and all those concepts I've just mentioned, put it into context and pick something that actually resonates with you, that you can also create opportunities for expansion and growth. Because by doing something that reflects who you are as a person and what you're passionate about, you will only but grow. You'll never get worse. You can only go up. You can never go down. That's the whole great thing about this. Because if you're doing something that truly resonates with you, that you're passionate about, you're always going to move up that ladder. You're always going to go up one step at a time. So again, make sure to create a plan of action of what you want to achieve. Do everything you can, whatever means you actually have, whether you have to write notes on a piece of paper, create a mood board, take pictures, visualize actually what you want to do, and then ask yourself how you want to present your ideas and your work. When you're looking for ideas, like I mentioned, get a sheet of paper, or actually go on to the likes of Google Docs or any type of word processing document app that you actually have, and just start writing down ideas. Here are just a list of a number of ones that I wrote down. Again, a lot of these ones I'm interested in myself, so it resonates with me. But you can have something totally different. Like I mentioned, like you can have business, you can actually have like bookkeeping, accounting, whatever you're into, like self-help, anything at all that you know that you can provide information on and an influence on, that you have knowledge around. That's where you can actually lend your hand to, and that's what you can focus on. But writing it down on a document here puts it into context, and you can visualize then by writing it down. You can visualize and say, well, this is something I can look into, this is something I enjoy, and I know I can provide some sort of valuable information to people. So by writing it down, it gives you those options, and then you can play around with them and see which one will actually be a good fit for you. So then when you've actually decided what it is that you want to do, or you're still in that idea kind of stage but you want to start moving on to the next stage, what are the steps that you need to take, or that you should take, to start really taking action and moving forward? Which platform then do you want to get involved with to actually start publicising your work and getting your work out there so that people can actually see it? It all depends on what you actually like doing, what resonates with you. If you like doing copywriting, or if you like writing in in general, if you like creating ebooks or even just writing like novels, or you like doing blogging, or you like doing video with like, so you can use YouTube, or if you like even just social media, there's so many avenues out there. If you want to create a side hustle even in a physical manner, you can use all these avenues to actually build influence, to actually get more eyes on your content. Like say if you were doing like furniture as a side hustle, where you were creating like wee kind of like pieces of furniture or little kind of like decorations and so forth, you can use social media platforms or even blogs to write about your journeys and your adventures of the work that you do, or even like say create like a YouTube channel to work on the side to showcase the work that you actually do, and you can do like step-by-step tutorials showing people exactly what you need to do. Also, what you can do is to take things to really to the next level, so that you can really figure out and understand all the steps that you do need to take. Find a mentor or find a reliable training program that will teach you all the steps that you actually need to take action and actually move forward. Below the first link in the description is a link to a really reliable and proven training platform that I have used myself, that has actually helped me to grow my own YouTube channel and my own online business, and it will actually help you to actually take action, because it has all the provided steps inside that you will need to take, especially even if you're a beginner, and how you can take all your ideas from concept to literal progress in a matter of only a couple of weeks, and it will show you everything that you need to do. So be sure to check out the link below. Once you've actually figured out all these things out and you want to start implementing all your strategies, what you want to do then is you want to figure out what angle you want to take to create and provide value to your audience. Again, this goes back to what platform do you want to use, whether it be writing, blogging, video, social media, influences and so forth. Try and find out what type of angle. You can take something that's already working, that's trending, use that to your advantage, but you put your own spin on it. And once you found out that angle that actually fits with you, that you know you can work with, and that actually resonates with you, that you know that you can really kind of make the most out of, use that to actually then build influence and actually build up engagement with your following. Because if you become the master of that area that you want to get involved in, it'd be very, very easy for you to build influence and engagement, and you will actually build a lot of followers on your media platforms or whatever areas you're looking to promote. So just as an example here, just to kind of demonstrate everything I've been talking about in the video up to this point. So you're over here currently at the minute where you're actually in your 9-to-5 job, and you are looking for ways or angles to try and figure out a way to actually eventually leave it or to quit it altogether. But you want to have something in place. You want to have a plan of action, or at least have some sort of escape plan. So this is where you go through the process. Currently you're in your job, you're actually earning a wage, regardless of whether it's a good wage or if it's a corporate job or it's a low level wage. You could be a production operative. Regardless of the type of job that you're in, you're still getting a weekly wage, which means for now money is fairly consistent and it is kind of safe. Although, as we all know, jobs in this time, in this era, aren't really safe, but it's still safer once you actually have a job, because once you actually have a job, it is easier to get another job and so forth. But what you can do is, while you actually have your job, it still doesn't stop you from taking all these angles and from actually pursuing the other things that you want to do in your spare time. So with this graph here, I'm just going to go back over and just to give you a bit more detail as to what I mean here. So you want to use the influence that you actually have from your job, which in turn is the money that you're going to be earning. Save up a little bit of money. Once you have excess money aside from money that you're saving up after you've paid your bills and so forth, be working on your ideas and your concepts that you're thinking about. Like I mentioned, write your lists and so forth that you're thinking of, and categorize everything so that you understand where you want to take things. Then start asking yourself the questions as to why you want to start implementing these strategies and why you actually want to quit your job in the first place. Because by asking those questions, you're putting it out there. Even writing the questions down on paper and actually answering them, it's making it real, that it's getting it out of your head onto a physical platform, so that there's no way of avoiding it. It's there staring you in the face and you know you can't avoid it anymore. So once you've overcome those hurdles and that fear, the next thing to do is, when you actually have found your ideas, is to start putting plans into place. Like I said, with regards to your job, you do need to have an escape plan. So you need to already have something kind of lined up, or be on the verge of creating something, or ready to create something, or are already doing that before you've made that choice on to leave your job. So here you can see there's a load of different angles that you can take. If you want to do, like say, something for yourself, and even if you want to work for yourself online like what I do, you can take the angles of, you can get involved into writing, you can create blogs, you can even create like ebooks, like digital products. This also serves into if you want to get involved with e-commerce. Now, e-commerce is a lot more hands-on. You can use the likes of Amazon or you can use Shopify. But again, with Amazon, you can sell on Amazon with physical products, and you can go to vendors, even with the likes of Shopify, and actually go back and forth with vendors to get prices on physical products so that you can ship them. But the one advantage even what Amazon has is, even if you don't do that, you can also promote as an affiliate as well, like you can do with all these other avenues as I mentioned here. So you do have kind of like a double whammy with Amazon that allows you to do that. So you can get involved in that if you want to be more direct and more hands-on. If it is something that you want to do, a lot of people actually love doing that. They like to be having that level of control within their business. It may not be for everybody, but it is an angle that you can take. But if you're into writing or blogging or creating ebooks and digital content, you can definitely do that as well, because I do that as well and I do enjoy it, and it's something that I do be interested in. I have actually done e-commerce before. I used to actually have a Shopify store before, but I wanted to try different things, so that's why I kind of left it. I actually have done a playlist of videos on Shopify. I'll make sure to drop a link down in the description so that you can check it out as well. But it's totally up to yourself. What you can also do as well is looking into, if you don't want to get involved in any of these platforms, or you can do a combination of each of these platforms. That will come as time goes on, is you can look into YouTube, into doing videos like what I'm doing here. And this is a fantastic way, because video currently and is growing to be the best way to get your content out there and to get the most engagement out there online. Because when you're recording a video, they're actually seeing a real person on the screen, they're actually hearing a real voice on the screen, they know that it's actually a real person behind the camera. So there's a lot more engagement there, because you can engage with people, you can direct them to do things, you can ask them to click on links, you can actually take them along on your journey. Like if you're, for instance, like if you're explaining a tutorial or you're restoring a car, you can do a series of videos explaining what you're doing in this video, that you're going to take the engine out of the car, that you're going to restore the car, you're going to strip away the paint, you're going to restore the bodywork on the car, and actually go through the entire process and take people along with the journey and explain in the videos how these things are working and how people can actually do them for themselves if there's something that they want to venture into. Video allows you to do that. You can also do that with the likes of blogging as well, but again, it's in written format. You'd have to take photographs of that, but video would definitely be your best way forward if that was something you wanted to do. Again, you can also use social media platforms like there's Facebook, there's Twitter, and even here you can use Pinterest, Instagram and TikTok, because these three would be the most visual represented platforms online, and these would be three of the biggest ones that people would actually go to. Like these three here are just literally crazy in terms of the traffic that you can get, in terms of the potential of getting more engagement and building influence online. Like there's people on TikTok and Instagram literally making millions currently at this moment in time, just from influencing and promoting products and services, creating content, posts, photographs, doing Instagram stories, even TikTok stories, and they're directing people to affiliate offers, even to their YouTube channels or their blogs, whatever it is that they have going on, and it's a fantastic way to do that. That's another angle that you could take as well. So when you have actually figured out all these angles, the next thing you want to do is you want to be able to put all these pieces together. And what do I mean by that? You want to figure out ways, like I said, if you're doing any of these, you want to get specific training or find a mentor that can actually teach you how to actually build your websites, how to actually set up your YouTube channel, how to actually set up your social media accounts, even like e-commerce stores and so forth, and so that you can start implementing all those strategies. Again, make sure to check out the first link below in the description for a proven training platform that will teach you all these steps on how to actually do everything from start to finish and actually get you up and running with your own online business. So when you actually have done that and you found that training and you've put all the pieces together, then you can start using all these angles here then to start generating money. And the thing about it is, over time, now you're not going to see overnight success with this. That's the one thing I'll say, when you do start venturing out onto your own, that's the scary part. There is like a sense of security from having your 9-to-5 job, because you know you're guaranteed a wage at the end of the week regardless of how much that you actually earn. You know that it's, once you have that job, it's always going to be there. But when you want to work for yourself, you're in control of your own destiny pretty much. You're in control of your own time. You have to make the time, you have to be in control, you have to make the tough decisions, you have to take responsibility, you have to be an entrepreneur. That's the only way about it. But when you implement all these strategies that I have mentioned here in this video, and you've implemented them properly and put all the pieces together, you will start to earn money. And you know what, you will earn more than you would ever get in your 9-to-5 job, period. Because there's people doing it all the time. If you look on people on Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, even on YouTube, the money that people and creators make is absolutely incredible. But you may not even want to go the digital route. You may even want to set up like a physical business, but you can still use all these angles like I mentioned to be able to to get more eyes on your physical business, like if you wanted to open up your own shop, or if you're working even out of a shed where you're creating, like I said, where you're creating furniture pieces or creating wee knick-knack kind of gifts and stuff. These angles will also be a great source of influence for you as well, because like I said, you can create tutorials and YouTube videos showing people how to do A, B and C. You can sell your products on marketplaces. You can write about them on your blog about how you're doing these certain things, and again, you can promote them on the likes of platforms like Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, and pretty much the sky's the limit of what you can do with it. It's totally up to you what angle you want to take, but again, you do need to figure that out. But I'm hoping that by you following the steps in this video that you will actually be able to implement those strategies and put everything into action. So the last few points I actually have here in this video are literally just to rinse and repeat. And what do I mean by that? In order for anything to grow, especially now when you've considered that you actually want to leave your 9-to-5 job, remember that when you're working for somebody else, you're not in control of your own time. You're not in control of the work that you're actually doing. You do have some flexibility to an extent of how you actually work within a safe environment, because again, your safety is your number one priority when you're there, but you don't control your time or what type of job you have to do. But when you work for yourself, you're in control of that. You have to make those decisions. You have to overcome those hurdles and those fears to get the work done. So by rinsing and repeating, what I mean by this is that you have to take it upon yourself to just get to work, do the work every single day, show up every day, strive to improve and grow each and every day. Try to improve 1% every single day. You're not going to see success straight away. It's always going to take time to build up all these avenues and all these influences. But as long as you keep striving to improve and grow 1% every single day, you will start to see results. In saying that, you are going to have good days, you are going to have bad days. It's inevitable, because we are human at the end of the day. These things are going to happen. Things are going to happen. Life's going to get in the way. Things are just going to get in the way, and there's nothing we can do about that. But at least once you have these strategies in place, once you've overcome those hurdles, you can still go back to them at the end of the day, and you can figure things out. And like I mentioned at the start of the video, if you start writing things down and putting plans in action, and writing and implementing plans, and writing down your problems and actually trying to think of solutions, you can fix all those issues over time. So you want to also, once you've gotten those strategies in place and you're starting to see some level of results, you want to be able to provide as much value to your audience as you possibly can. Also set out goals. That's imperative that you do, because you want to be able to visualize where you want to see yourself. If you are wanting to quit your job, you have to ask yourself the big question: why do I want to quit my job, and what do I want to do with my time? Where do I want to go? What kind of business do I want to create? Where do I want to go next? So you need to visualize where you want to be in, say, 1, 3, 5, even 10 years from now. You want to have that idea, because that's going to be the structure that you're going to have to set in place, so that you can actually go from all those points to actually move you forward to where you want to go. And the last point really is just, along your journey, is to always engage with your followers. If you're doing YouTube stuff, always engage with comments and give people as much feedback. Same even goes for like social media, even for blogs. Try to provide as much value as you possibly can. The same even with a physical business. If you're dealing with people face to face, you have to be friendly, you have to be professional. Even going back to like my experience, like I mentioned, when I was a personal trainer, you were dealing with people one-on-one. You had to be professional, you had to be presentable, but you had to be friendly as well and courteous, because you needed to make people feel comfortable. Because if you didn't make people feel comfortable, people didn't want to work with you. So if you made people feel at ease and they could trust you, they wanted to work with you, and in turn they would actually pay you for your services. You could come to an agreement on payments and so forth. So you can implement those strategies into whatever side hustles or jobs you want to actually get involved with, if you're looking to get out of your own job and actually create something for yourself. So I'm really hoping that you actually understand the concepts here in this video and actually just take it under advisement and actually just implement these steps. Again, you don't have to do everything at once. Just gradually work on it. Some people, it can take years. For me, it actually did. It took years to figure a lot of this stuff out. And I, be honest, for years I was kind of like bouncing around doing different things, and I truly wasn't really sure of what I wanted to do. But now that I've actually, over the last couple of years, since I've actually started to take things more seriously and started implementing the strategies and taking notes on everything that even I've mentioned here in this video, I've learned to implement those steps, and now I'm actually starting to see success. I'm starting to see growth, and I would never have done that had I not actually taken those initial steps and actually overcome my fears. And the way I see it is, if I can do it, you can do it, but you've got to be willing to take those risks. even at the current stage, if you're not able to take those risks at the minute, again, for whatever reasons, like I said, you can stick at your job for a while or have an alternative in place, and then gradually when you get more comfortable and when you give yourself enough breathing room that you can move, stick with it for a little while and then move. That's the ideal thing, and because you'll know yourself when you're ready to take that leap. Only you can know that. But when you do, go for it, because you won't regret it. Because at the end of the day, life is short and we have to make the most of every opportunity that we have, because if we don't, we'll only have regrets. So you want to make the most of the opportunities, because especially now in today's world, regardless of everything that's going on currently, we have more opportunities now than ever before to ever create a valuable and fantastic life for ourselves, and not only that, to actually help other people do the same. So what are you waiting for? As the screen says, get to work, make it happen. Because at the end of the day, people can open doors for you, but only you can walk through them. It is up to you at the end of the day. You have to make those decisions. You have to make those choices. And if you don't decide to make those choices, you're always going to stay stuck. But it is on you. That decision is on you. But I hope you make the right decisions for yourself, and I really do hope that you actually do figure things out and actually get to work, because when you do, you will start to see the results. So if you're looking to quit your day job, you know exactly now what to do. You can come back and watch this video again and just go over it, and again you can refresh your mindset, and it'll give you a better idea of what to actually do. So if you have found this video to be helpful, please be sure to leave a like. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be updated whenever I release future content, and also feel free to share the video, as I am going to be creating more videos like this here, showing you other helpful guides and tips to show you other ways and other angles that you can get started if you're looking to quit your day job, and how you can implement certain strategies to actually start creating something for yourself. And in my next video, I will also be sharing with you some ways and strategies that you should actually look into before you actually want to start an online business, and what you should do and the steps you should take to get involved with that. So be sure to check that one out. Also be sure to check out the first link below in the description for a proven training platform that will actually teach you the steps to figure out how to get started with making money online, and actually how to create an online business for yourself, that will teach you all the steps that you need to get started, from start to implementation to a finished product. And as always, I will see you in the next one.